What is that?
Identify yourself.
Stand down! Watch out! Run!
Hello, my name's Fox. I ain't having fun. My God, these episodes are good. Also, just before I start anything else, and for you coming in here, if you're one of those 4 people, probably more at this point, who disliked my other video, and then the one person saying, "Well, no, the Jedi are actually good because, but they're not supposed to have shut up, shut up. I don't care. I don't give a shit." And let me say that in a sense. Not that I don't care about Star Wars, because I do. I really do love Star Wars. It's one of the freaking cool series. But also on that same note, I can look at the Jedi and see, yes, it's what they're doing is bad. like you're telling people to forego emotions, and like someone said on the thing, like, oh, they do that so. They forego emotions so they can so they can bring justice without, their own things getting in the way. Then just make droids? If that's the case, yeah, just have droids that just follow the rules and all that stuff. Oh, but droids can't think and strategize. Yeah, they can. Just Clone Wars has shown that they can. The regular battle droids are shit, and then again, they are still sentient, but, you have commander droids that could do it. If I'm remembering correctly, the only reason why the Separatists didn't win is because Palpatine was playing both sides. Other than that, they could have easily had won. So, why not just, literally, people forgot who the Jedi were within 20 years. Just end the Jedi Order. Kill off all the Sith. End the Jedi Order. And just let the Force evaporate into obscurity. And you no longer have the Sith. You no longer have the Jedi. You have balance in the Force. But no, let's kidnap some children and say that you shouldn't mourn your mom. What's wrong with you? Mourn your mother, you should not. To the dark side it will lead. Won't me suppressing all my emotions do that even worse and make me hate you all and everything else for... I said the emotion don't all have. Come on now. But, okay, so... It's been a week since I've seen episode 4. I just saw episode 5. By God, I love it. But this reveal. Holy shit. It was so good. And then when they end it there, I'm like, God damn it. Then my brother texted me yesterday going did you see episode 5 of The Acolyte? Yeah. I'm like, no, not yet. He goes, holy shit. He's like, it's so good. I'm like, alright. Let's see here. Wookiee guy was studying... Okay, I remember now. In episode 4, the Wookiee Jedi, wherever that's on that forest planet, he was studying the Acolyte, the symbol, the yin-yang symbol. For what? Who knows? I'm pretty sure it's gonna lead to the dyad. Let's see here. They believe that people, the Jedi think that, May was probably trained by a Jedi. That wasn't true. There's a funny joke where because pretty much they say Soul got Osha on the team, and the reason why they did that because if not, Soul couldn't go on this mission because he's emotionally compromised, I guess. Which that's actually kind of a thing, but he gets Osha on, May will come to Osha. And so they're like, alright, fine, you can go if you get Osha to come on. And it actually was pretty funny because then Osha's like, I'm not wearing the civilian robes. In the civilian robes. Young Plo Koon's in there. Is it Plo Koon? And then there's also the guy with the head thing. And there's some really good scenes in episode 4 too, which also apparently a lot of people hated episode 4. Mind you, it's nothing compared to episode 5, but episode 4 was okay. It's setting up for episode 5 and everything. No, Plo Koon, May turning herself. Yeah, one cool thing that actually kind of happened was when May when she's trekking through the forest with the poison maker guy, which spoilers for it. If you're watching this, I hope you've seen the last 2 episodes. Spoilers. It was the poison guy who's actually the master, which makes 100% sense, and it was the one thing that's like, I feel like I should have made this video last week because I called that. Well, actually, I actually showed my I actually told my brother that. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. Hey, have you heard of Anime Berserk? Yeah. Asian guy who's working for... Let me see. Ah, damn it. Let me see. Yeah. I'm not sure if you can read that. But it says, lol, probably the Asian guy who's working with her seems likely. Someone said he was maybe possessed by the moms. Yeah, I heard about Berserk. Okay, no, because he asked me if I heard about the anime Berserk. But yeah, this guy, I knew it was him. So I didn't know his name, so I just sorry. But in either case, he was a badass. Like, holy shit, he's a badass. But so May with him go there, and May decides to trap him in a trap and goes, I'm not gonna kill. And the thing is too, I think he because while they were trekking to find the Wookiee thing, there was already major hints that he was the master from stuff like May going, oh, you went into that forest with deadly creatures alone. He's like, yeah, it's fine. And just kind of just playing that off, and then also when May betrays, and the thing is, the master was also saying, do you think if you use a Jedi's lightsaber that counts? Is that your weapon? And I think he was trying to train her without telling her straight away, but May pretty much ties him up and goes, nope, I'm gonna go turn myself into the Jedi. My sister is alive. That's literally the whole reason I'm here. I have literally no reason to be a bad guy or be on the Sith side. That's when May leaves him hanging, goes to the Wookiee to turn herself in, and the dude's dead. The dude is immediately dead. And she's like, oh shit. It sees the lightsaber cut, and she's like, he's here. Also, while this is going on, Osha and Sol and a bunch of other Jedi are using their little tracker friend to track down May, finding these bugs that Osha looks at, sees them on the trees. And I'm like, I feel like you should know immediately at that, that's a bug. But finds out these things are attracted to light. And pretty much eventually they get to this place with May. Then, this dude just creepily floats down. I love how he just floats there. It's so goddamn horror movie creepy, and I love it. It reminds me the movie is okay, but is it Hereditary? I think it's Hereditary. The one where the guy is slowly getting possessed and his sister, and but the part at the very end, spoilers for that movie. I would say go watch it, but it's kind of something you gotta sit through a little bit. It's a slow burn, but also it doesn't necessarily mean it's all that great. But the ending scene where, spoilers, Well, you know, I don't have to spoil it too much. There's a headless body, and it kind of just floats, and then just floats up a ladder. And I'm just, for some reason, out of everything in that movie, that was the scariest shit to me. Like, that was the part that, like, I was sitting in the middle of the night just thinking about, like, how unnaturally it just kind of just floated there and just floated upward. It was that, and this one reminds me of that. It's that weird creepiness, like, but yeah, like that, God, he's so freaking cool. But yeah, so he murders everybody.
Jedi were actually
Like, holy shit, does he murder everybody? Also this, because you saw that. Okay, let me actually go over here real quick. Let me mute this guy real quick. Or no, it's this. Get that out of here. Let me mute this. Look at this. He freaking straight. He hits it. I just love how this looked. Because if I'm remembering correctly, it's called... Is it called Krytosis? I'm going to put this guy's audio back on. But it's Krytosis or something. So it's a special metal. It's similar to Beskar. Kind of. If I'm remembering correctly, this metal is rarer than Beskar. While also having its own special property. Is it Chris's? Oh, let's see. This guy probably said that.
armor with their lightsabers, the lightsabers would turn off. This is because the armor was probably made of a material called cortosis.
Cortosis, that's it. Yeah, cortosis. Which, its whole thing is that it literally short circuits lightsabers. Which, by God, like, this imagery alone. Just how he hits it and they just freaking explode like little firecrackers and it's just like are shut off. Because like the whole thing is that like, it messes with like whatever the field or whatever, it just completely short circuits a lightsaber. Which I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, one, I think the metal is extremely rare, so that's why like you don't have people usually with armor with it. But by God, like I love this. Because here's the thing too, like again, like it's I'm gonna bring in is My Adventure with Superman gonna become the new Owl House here? Because here's the thing. One of the reasons I love the new My Adventures with Superman also is because a lot of the bad guys' powers or weapons and stuff like that are tied to Kryptonian tech. And I sure as hell know the person, if you're mad at Star Wars like this, you're probably going to be mad at me for like my Adventures with Superman. F off. Like the idea that like, you know, that in My Adventures with Superman, like, oh, why can all these regular people hurt Superman and my Superman have to go all out to fight these guys? Because they have technology that's literally from his home planet that is also just as strong as him. Boom. I like it. It balances the scales a bit more while still having these overpowered characters. This, yeah, you always had Sith with like lightsaber stuff like that, combat stuff like that, but there's something else where you can literally shut off one of their main weapons where it like balances out way more, I feel, and I love that. Like, and also, like, another thing that this show did, which I wonder, the fanboys are probably gonna still hate this episode, even though this episode, holy shit, it didn't, like, it introduced all these characters the last 4 episodes. Yeah. Just can we just talk about how usually we would see just one stab wound and that's it? Also, mind you, this slick ass maneuver of just like he has like Cal Kestis's like lightsaber breaking lightsaber, and I love that. Like, you would just have the one stab, and usually that's it. This man said, no, you're going to die. He went... like, holy shit. Alright, I'm not sure where this is going to go, but, yeah, I forgot to add these 2 bits to it. First off, one, after he kills, the Jedi girl, the Master, just, triple punches her. Which, by God, just rewatching, she's like, I'm like, holy shit! The Soul says her name. I don't remember what her name was. And then, then the Master just goes, oh, so that was its name. And I'm like, oh shit! And then, just to kind of hammer in, the Jedi aren't really the greatest sometimes, because at next point, Soul then said, she was a child. And then the Master, because in my head I said the exact same thing, you brought her here! Like, what does that say? Like, he's defending himself at this point. You're the one that put a weapon in her hand and said, go fight. But, yeah, also, like, people apparently were complaining about her using a boakin, like a wooden lightsaber or wooden sword while training, which I just want to say, you do realize there were, like, in the original one, there were, like, kids who were, like, 4 or 5 years old who had, like, lightsabers, which apparently they only tased. Sure. And I'm just want to just throw that kind of out there, like she's most likely way more trained, if anything. Trained probably similar to Ahsoka. And now she's dead. But yeah, I just want to throw that in this video.
No!
Like, holy shit. Also, samurai. Not, like, I don't know, it gives me so much samurai vibes. But, this man is a badass. Like, holy shit. He might be one of my new favorite Sith characters. And that's the thing, too, that I also kind of like, because, like, he does call himself a Sith, which he could technically be. He could be. But also, well, then he says the Jedi would call him a Sith. I kind of like these in-between, like the in-between of Jedi or not, like, with, like, Ahsoka. That is still cool. Don't get me wrong. I love Ahsoka. But something about the dark side user who is not necessarily a Sith, but and it depends too. Like, I say this because, like, this technically could also correspond to the Inquisitors, which, Inquisitors are okay. I like these Sith more. The ones that look like just destructive. Like, they're not all put together. They have tattered robes, destroyed looking helmet, like, and like has like something that's like kind of different or off about them that's like more iconic. Again, this guy has his helmet. Kylo has his freaking like unstable. God, my brain is not working. Has the freaking unstable lightsaber kyber crystal and all that. I love that shit. Another thing that I forgot, and I further edited into this, and apparently Kylo Ren's theme was playing when the Master popped up. I'm like, holy shit! And also, I forgot to mention this, as I noticed, and I just forgot to put it, he used force healing. So, what does that mean? Do you have to be a dark side and light side wielder to force heal? Is force heal just an ability of the light side? Because Rey had force healing, and now this guy had force healing. So are we going to go into that whole thing? Like, what exactly allows you to force heal? Like, is it the ability between darkness and light to be able to use it? Which would make sense, because that means because Rey had the light side while Kylo had the dark side, and then the dyad allowed that to occur. But the Master was the one who had it, so does the Master have a balance? Or is it something along the lines of, because originally it was supposed to be that Palpatine linked Kylo and Rey together using the Force, and then then created the dyad. So maybe it's kind of like that, where a dyad can only be created if there's 2 Force wielders, but then there's a third member there's a third member that connects them via the Force, and that's how they're created? I don't know, it's interesting. And also, the idea that this guy actually becomes, or not, that the Master is probably the first Knight of Ren, which, cool, let's get more Knight and Ren stuff. I'm really loving how much of the sequel series they're adding into this. Like, again, it's like the whole, clone things with Mando and all that stuff. And even, what was it? Clone Wars: The Bad Batch. So, yeah, there's a lot of unanswered questions in the movies, just like Episode 4, 5, and 6. that then is filled out by the EU, even though George Lucas never considered the expanded universe canon in any way, shape, or form, and he would just take shit however he wants. Anyways, let's get back to the video. I'm not sure where this goes. Yeah, dude is a badass as all hell. And he pretty much says, like, why he's doing all this, which, like, I don't know, is he an anarchist? I don't know, like, all he literally says down here.
Hello. You really didn't know it was me.
Also, kind of like, man, he's ripped. I love that, like his armor isn't all over him still. It's just his helmet and his arm guard, which, holy shit. Like, again, just look at this. Hold on. Just look at this fight. Like, I just love his fighting style. And, like, they say, like, he has no exact form. It's constantly changing. He gets inside the people's heads. But, like, I just love that form of, like, it has that Mando quality. Like, if you watch The Mandalorian, I think season 2, where he had to switch out his Beskar for Stormtrooper armor for a point, and you see, like, they swing a weapon and he kind of just blocks with his armor bits, and they just kind of break off. Like, it's the idea of his fighting style relies on his armor, and this guy has a very similar idea with that, but just his can literally just shut off a lightsaber. Like, just one tap, and they're just like, what the... like, God. But, yeah, so he's dead. So X-23 is dead. He threatens... This guy gives his whole speech talking about why he's doing this.
What are you?
I have no name. But a Jedi like you might call me Sith.
Also, can I say this too? Another thing that I really like about this. This feels like a samurai movie. Like, blade to the neck kind of thing. Like, this feels more like the, Japanese, because that's the thing, like, people will say, like, oh, it's Star Wars, the original Star Wars is like a Western and this. I'm like, is it though? I don't know. It has its own mix to it. Like, here's the thing too, and I'll say this because it's the feeling I get from each of them, different ones. Star Wars, first 3, or 4, 5, and 6, it's okay. 1, 2, and 3 feels more sci-fi than samurai Westernish. I don't know. Maybe I have to rewatch them. Clone Wars show, very much more sci-fi-esque. 7, 8, 9 feels way more fantasy than like samurai or whatnot. Maybe something like Rogue One, which is a World War II one. This and like the episode The Jedi in Mando feels like samurai movies. Like, it just has that feel to it.
Why risk discovery?
Well, I did wear a mask.
I love how he's kind of funny.
What do you want?
Freedom. The freedom to wield my power the way I like.
Which, hey, you know what? Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, because he later on brings up stuff like, the Jedi make rules, I don't. And how he just, like, here's the thing too. What would he do with this power? If you really think about it. Like, just think about that real quick. What could one Sith do to an entire thing? Like, yeah, no shit. He could obviously start shit. He could obviously have fights. Or maybe take over a small town, which, I'm pretty sure enough Jedi could stop him if they actually were good. But, like, what could just one dude do? Like, and the thing is, like, if he's following the Sith rule, because the whole thing is that he says he wants to find an Acolyte. He wants to he wants to start an Acolyte and all that other shit. Have an Acolyte and all that shit. Really, what could one dude do? Especially if he's following the whole rule of two thing. I don't know. Let's see here. Also, yeah, when he kills this dude dirty, too.
Without having to answer to Jedi like you, I want a pupil, an acolyte. But this one went back on our deal.
Oh, yeah. Did I bring that up? I think I did. That when May find out that her sister is alive, she's like, I don't need to get revenge. She's literally alive. I kind of like that. It's not a bad guy who's just like, I'm just seeking revenge forever. It's like, no, she's literally like, well, no, the reason I'm doing those revenge, they're alive. I don't have to do this anymore. Like, only when Osha, eventually later on, Osha brings up, saying like, you did this, you did all this, and she's like, no, the Jedi did a lot of this, which, yeah, this guy straight up says like, oh yeah, no, you soul, you did, like, you know, I embrace my darkness, what have you done with yours? And Osha's like, what is he talking about? And, you know, we don't get an exact answer, but obviously something happened on there. I'm not even going to be surprised if it turns out they used mind trick on Osha that made and actually set a fire.
She exposed me. So now I have to kill every single last one of you.
He pretty much almost completely does that. Like, go watch this episode. It's so good. It's so tense. But then, holy shit. Where is it? Is it here? Yeah, it's right here. Like this, and here's the thing. Ford thought he did something, which is funny. Or Yord.
Oh, look at you two. Right back where you started.
You. Surprise.
Jesus! He just, like, I had to rewatch that scene. I was like, holy shit. Just straight murdered his ass. Like, oh my god. Like, Soul was like, oh shit, we're this kind of Star Wars. Like, just straight kill X-23. And then freaking just snap Yord's neck. I'm like, holy shit. Any other Star Wars, these guys would last to the very end and become great friends with Osha. Even though, like, X-23, the last episode is like, I'm gonna miss you, Osha. And it's like, why? At least for me, I'm just kind of like, did they have a bond? I ain't gonna lie. That part I was kind of like, did they have a bond? I didn't really pick that up, but okay. But no, he just straight kills him. Straight murders his ass. But god damn. Soul right there, you can tell in his eyes. Like, by God, I wanted to kill your ass. He's like, God damn it, Osha. Why did you have to be here? I was about to murder him. And the pain in his face, too.
Osha. This is your master. You trust him? Even after everything he did to you.
His mind is twisted by darkness.
I've accepted my darkness. What have you done with yours?
And again, they're really much hinting that Soul did some bad on that planet with her family. And I wouldn't surprise if there's some mind trickery going on in Osha's head to make her forget a lot of what's happened. So, yeah. Also, the whole thing, too, like, they use bugs to take the master and fly him away. But also, when that happened, Osha heard Young May's voice again, which, again, like, it's the dyad. It's gotta be the dyad. God, but holy shit, this episode. And pretty much very ends, I guess. May stops. May is able to pretty much. May knocks out Soul. The master gets taken away by bugs, but eventually drops back down. May and Osha talk, say like, the Jedi brainwashed you, don't leave. And after Osha tries to handcuff May, May knocks her out, takes her clothes, cuts her hair to make it look like Osha, and pretty much leads Soul back to the ship because I'm pretty sure this is where Soul's gonna die. Soul's probably gonna die on that ship. Or something, because like obviously at some point he has to die. Because he straight knows that he's a Sith. And it's literally like people say like, well, Ahsoka has to die before episode 4 or episode, what is it, 5, 6? Because, it says there's no other Jedi. She's not a Jedi, so she can survive. But like people always would say that back in the day, like, well, Ahsoka has to die. Nope. But this, I'm like, no, I think Soul literally does need to die. I think, after killing, 2 of the main 3 Jedi characters in this, I'm gonna go ahead and guess Soul ain't living. Soul ain't making it out of this show alive. Soul about to be dead. And he's the last one to know that the Sith are there. So, yeah, this is really cool. I love the entire fights in this are really good. This is one of the episodes. Sometimes I'll watch something twice, years later, and I'll rewatch Mando maybe years. I probably rewatch Mando years later when I had someone else to watch it with. But usually I won't go back to something, unless I really, 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 really like it. I will probably, and here's the thing: I haven't rewatched Mando all that many times. I've rewatched Mando if let's say I was watching someone else. But me personally, I will go back to that Jedi episode with Ahsoka a few times because I really like that episode. And I'm like, God, I would love if there was more of that. I will go back to this episode and rewatch it, episode 5, because by God, it's so good. But anyways, this is great. I like this a lot. This was good. Just the fights alone where he just hits it with his helmet and then hits it with his armband to cut it off. I'm like, oh shit, that's so good. Yeah, give a dude a cool ass mask and armor bits. It's kind of the sick. Also, I will say they did probably Kylo Ren a little bit better with this because they did give us a bit of a time before revealing this dude, the Master's face. Which, yeah. Also, Soul. So this guy says that Soul knows him. So it could be the whole possession thing, where they say 1 becomes 2 and all that stuff that the Night Sisters were saying. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe one of the moms was able to send their own spirit or soul into someone else's body, and it was this guy's body, and so that's where it is at right now. The Master is one of their moms, soul-wise. And also it's probably the same thing that was used to create the girls, in a sense, putting a piece of the moms within the other. It's kind of a whole thing. I don't know. Tell me what you think, comment below. Thanks for watching. Show videos that I've done. Links on my Facebook. Subscription buttons are on there, so I want to share videos. Hopefully enjoy this. I'm excited. I also want to play Jedi Survivor now. Thanks for watching, and we will see you later. So freaking cool. I love these guys so much. And yeah, the Diad. Freaking great.